Odisha FC in many ways are seen as one of the more upwardly mobile clubs within the Indian football ecosystem right now, especially true for those that are in the ISL or the Indian Super League. The team that were formerly known as the Delhi Dynamos actually ended up shifting base to Bhubaneswar because they were given plenty of support from the Odisha state government and have actually become a side revamped since then. Of course, they played some good football, but more so than that, they've started attracting some good talent, and ahead of the 2023-24 ISL season, they will be coached by a man who knows a thing or two about actually winning the ISL in Sergio Lobera. Lobera, of course, you'd remember, has coached FC Goa as well as, of course, Mumbai City FC, along with whom he won not just the League Winner Shield, but also the ISL playoff or the ISL trophy in the very same season. So definitely an interesting time for Odisha FC, especially when you consider the fact that last year they ended up winning the Hero Super Cup, which is of course the premier domestic tournament of the Indian football calendar. This time around, their aims will be much further, and that will of course be to potentially go all the way in the ISL. And to do so, obviously they've had to make a few changes to their personnel, and in this video what we'll be doing is checking out which are the players that they've let go of or sold, and more importantly, which are the players they have signed. First, let's look at the players who have left, and it's a pretty exhaustive list in many ways. You've had Victor Rodriguez, Dylan De Silva, Vineet Rai, Sebastian Thangwasang, Osama Malik, Nandkumar Sekar, Saul Crespo, Renier Fernandez, who of course was only there as a lone player, Dinichandra Meiti, Lal Rathara, Pedro Martin, and Karan Amin. Now, obviously, of all the players that I've just listed out, it's a mixture of players really. Some of them were definitely regulars in the squad, the likes of Saul Crespo, even Vineet Rai had been with the side for a while. Someone like even Pedro Martin, Victor Rodriguez were pretty much regulars, but of course haven't had their contracts renewed, and a lot of that really comes down to having a new head coach. More often than not, they've prefer, let's say, working with players who they're more familiar with, and that is definitely the case with Lobera, as you'll find out in just a bit. But it's an interesting mix because there's literally a lot of players, and this is something that's not uncommon with Indian football clubs. They do tend to see higher turnovers than most. That being said, they have brought in some very exciting players to replace the ones who have left. Who are those players, you ask? Well, ask no further. These are the players who have joined. Now, I'll quickly run through the list. There's Jerry Ladranzwala, there's Roy Krishna, who's probably the most exciting signing for me for Odisha FC. There's Lalyan Sanga Ranthli, there's Afwaba Singh, Laldan Lala Renthli, there's Emma Jawa, Murtada Fall, Amir Anwade, and of course Lenny Rodriguez. Now, of course, from all these players, there's a real mix again of players, of course foreign players as well as Indian players, largely a lot of Indian players, which does make sense. But there's also a good mix of youth and experience, but although it does lean more towards younger players. Again, Jerry Ladranzwala, someone good young player. Roy Krishna, someone who's a proven goal scorer in Indian football. Probably the most exciting signing that Odisha have made, for me at least. Someone who will definitely guarantee them a lot of goals. Lalyan Sanga Ranthli, definitely one of those young upcoming players. Same with Afwaba Singh, someone who's had spells at Punjab as well as other I-League clubs. Laldan Leala Renthli, another one who's done well at the youth levels. Ahmed Jawa and Murtada Fall are interesting names for one very simple reason. Both have played for Lobera in his previous ISL club. So Ahmed Jawa and Murtada Fall have both represented FC Goa as well as Mumbai City FC whilst Lobera was the coach. So in many ways, them signing was no surprise. Amir Ranwade is another player who, of course, plenty of potential. Lenny Rodriguez, well, what can I say about him? He's a veteran player, but someone who can run a midfield like probably few others can, or better than maybe just a few others can in Indian football. So definitely some very interesting signings made, and definitely a lot of signings who you see will fit the bill of Sergio Lobera's, let's say, possession first, mindset, because a lot of these are players who have played with him before. They would be able to replicate the demands as well as, of course, play exactly the way that he expects them to, and that's why I think Odisha, if all these players can come together and click instantly, would be shoe-in for, of course, qualifying for the playoffs, not just, but also potentially winning the title and maybe even getting the League Winner Shield as well. I mean, we know for a fact that Lobera has a history of doing that. He did it with Mumbai City FC, where he won both the League Winner Shield as well as the playoffs to be crowned ISL champions. and he's someone with a proven track record. You remember that ODISHA weren't the only Indian club trying to sign Lobera from the Chinese second division club that he was coaching at. It was also East Bengal who were very, very keen to bring him in, but they couldn't get him and they had to settle for Carlos Quadra. Lobera is someone, again, proven track record in India, and given the kind of players that ODISHA have signed, I think you could very well see them become a force to be reckoned with, even more so than they were last season. And that's just my opinion on things, though. You guys can let us know in the comments if you're a big fan of the kind of work that ODISHA FC have put in the transfer window so far. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead and check out some other videos that we've done. For now though, from my side, it's goodbye.